Myths on depression video, and I'm going to try and make it short and sweet so it's not as long as the others. There is a myth that depressed people are just lazy or weak, and they're not. I've mentioned this a couple times before where it's like physically painful to get out of bed. Okay, so for those of you who don't have depression, I want you to imagine just lying in bed, you just woke up, and you want to get up. And for you, normally, what's a normal day like that like? You just get out of bed, no problem, or, maybe a few minutes more in bed, and then you'll get up and go, right? For depressed people, that's not always the case. Some of us are very unable. We will sit there and we will internally struggle with ourselves. It is physically painful to get up for some of us. For others, especially like myself, just before a day of work, I will sit there and argue with myself, like, why am I even doing this? Can I just die instead of this? I really don't want to go to work. I really don't want to live this life because everything is repeated and dull and boring, and it's just going to be work and work and work until I die anyway. Why can't I just die? And then I'll find myself spiraling into a suicidal mindset. And that's extremely dangerous. I call it the red zone for me. It is extremely dangerous, and if I don't make myself get up, it can get very, very bad very quickly. I'll put it that way. It's not laziness or weakness. It's something you physically cannot help. The next myth is that it's not good to talk about feeling depressed. Talking about it just makes it worse. That's not true at all. If you don't talk about it, it will get worse. Whereas if you talk about it, like I said in the last video, talking about it can actually help you. It can help you to understand what's causing all this stress in your life that's triggering your depression. It can also, talking about it alerts other people to what you're going through. And oftentimes that'll trigger their want to help you. And it will also help them to understand that you need them not to be so harsh with you as they normally are. There's also a myth that only girls get depressed. I don't know why that's even a myth. Okay, I'm just going to straight up say false for that, okay? I'm going to get into a whole nother video on to the double standards between girls and guys, including depression. So I'm just going to leave it at that. That is not true. Another myth is that the best treatment for depression is antidepressants. They're only one form of effective treatment. The combination of talk therapy and medication is often the most helpful. But, you never know. It's different for everyone, just like with schizophrenia. The only difference is that depression has general symptoms that match depression. Like, when somebody has depression. There is no specific medical test to diagnose depression. It's just a combination of your life and the factors going into it, and your reactions and your emotional reactions to the things going on around you. And on top of all of that, like I said, there's also a chemical imbalance in your brain. So, this has been the myths video. I don't really want to go much further into this. It's kind of killing my mood, to be honest, because it's the first day in a while I'm genuinely happy. Judas just turned 25 yesterday, and we were celebrating that. So, that was good. 2 days ago, actually. But if you have any other myths, feel free to comment below, and I will do my best to respond and let you know what I know personally as a person who suffers with depression. Again, I'm not a doctor. I don't know all of these things in the world, but I do know that mental illness stigma, especially around depression, still exists, and I do know what is false. So, signing off for now.